Hello and welcome back to Digital Asset Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. I want to let you into my perspective for a moment. So let's get into the articles so we can have this discussion. Representative Soto seeks to create office to coordinate federal use of blockchain tech. The dedicated office would oversee all non-defense related deployment and activities related to blockchain technology within the federal government. A new bill filed on Thursday, H.R. 9067, seeks to create an office that will coordinate federal applications of blockchain technology. It's sponsored by Representative Darren Soto, a Democrat representing Florida's 9th District. The bill would establish an office within the Department of Commerce to coordinate all non-defense related deployment and activities related to blockchain technology within the federal government. So you can see we're moving forward. If you're new, obviously this is probably still a questionable arena for you, but some of us have been over here for 5+ years. This is a major leap forward, a major step forward, moving from going maybe one or two major articles a year, maybe, and into 2020 where there's one or two major articles daily was pretty significant, where many investors who have been here, it's kind of a breaking point, because that's, to me, where a lot of things changed. For example, Ripple, etc., coming into the scene from OpenCoin. But that's another discussion we're going to get into. Around 2015, that's that 5-year plus mark. So many investors who have been here for that longer, it was kind of a challenge to find exchanges to be able to get assets or to even be able to hold them. And the world has changed significantly. So if you go back from then till now, you can see the progression and the productivity of technology as it's stated. A lot of times in the software world, many, software producers basically say, 6 months is almost outdated of how much technology can leap forward in that time period, as long as someone's staying focused and they're progressing during that time. So you can see back for the past few years, it's been a major leap forward, where you weren't even sure if it was going to be legal or if it was, a scam, as the popular phrase tends to be in the industry that connects to blockchain and crypto. But you can also see why the governments are changing that. Instead of calling it blockchain, they're calling it distributed ledger technology. Instead of cryptocurrencies, they're calling it digital assets. They're moving away from the stigmas, as a lot of the first, connected to Bitcoin, connected to the negative stigma of like the Silk Road. And then we're moving forward where they're actually being disruptive and life-changing, assets are coming forward, especially the people who have come in because of their, their country, their nation, the crash of their fiat or their currency. So a lot of them turn to, for example, Bitcoin, because it's the easiest to get, it's the first, it's the biggest. It was easier for them to move into that as a digital currency or a digital technology or a digital asset that could make their life better without their currency continuing to devalue or lose its value in their country. So that was the security asset for them that they moved into. But as they continue to use it, they realize, it's slow, it's not as efficient, and the fees that come along with it isn't just slightly better than what they were used to in currency, except it wasn't getting devalued. It was actually increasing its value. So as that continues to move forward, people have, or I should say, as it did continue to move forward, people realize there are other technologies and other assets out there. And then a lot of them are a lot more affordable. For example, today, look at, a share of Bitcoin. You're talking right around now, 35,000. I'm going to relate it to stocks for the new people to make sense. You understand, it's not a share of anything. It's not an IPO. It's a currency. But, at per coin or per share as the new people can relate and then make sense of the discussion and join in and feel like they comprehend and understand. I'm going to just say that for this temporary moment. So each share of Bitcoin, you're looking at around 34,000, where XRP now is 22 cents. So if you have, $10, that's your budget. That's your maximum that you can afford to risk, to hold, to lose, to throw away, to burn, to give away, to not miss. Now, a $10 share of Bitcoin, that's great. It's going to hold your value, but how much is that really going to increase? Or if you put in that $10 in XRP or Stellar, for example, since this discussion is on both of those, you're going to get a significant amount more. And the ability for it to increase percentage-wise, don't look at the total number. You need to look at percentage. That's the only thing that's going to affect you. Because if it goes from 34,000 to 44,000, that's pretty significant. But how much is that really going to increase your gains from that $10? Now, if you have 22 cents or, 13 cents, give or take the pricing, it's going a little bit bouncing right now, climbing and stabilizing. But if you have that bounce and you put in your $10, you're going to get a significant amount more of shares. So as it does climb, we know, for example, the previous all-time high of XRP, the price is going to be, $3.84. So we know we're going to, in each bull run, typically hit our previous all-time high, within exceptions. There's always an asterisk, but there will always be exceptions. But having stated that, from 22 cents to $3.84, where Bitcoin, had gone below its all-time high, many times it had dropped down to 3,000, knowing that the previous all-time high was 20,000. That's pretty significant. But even from 3,000 to 6,000, you're talking, or I should say from 3,000 to the 34,000, you're basically 10xing. But again, with your XRP to all-time high from 22 cents to $3.84, you're already more than 10xing to get to the same price value. Now, having said that, I want to get into the discussion of why I'm so confident in these two assets. I'm going to give, obviously, if you followed us from the beginning of this channel, there are many examples. But if you're new, these are two major examples of my confidence, and I have files and files loaded of even content that I have never even shared. And it's just a challenge to get to those, but either which way, there's so much information now that I haven't had to go back to those. Possibly, we'll see how the future goes. Maybe I'll just release those, but explain its older content in the sense of the discussion. So digital ties between Asian nations offer massive financial opportunities. As we get into the discussion, Tribodi said in an interview, we would also see a massive shift in behavior of how Southeast Asia and Chinese entrepreneurs connect. So founded in 2018 by Tribodi and Chatchaval Gioravanan, a member of the family that controls the Thai conglomerate, Charoen Pafand LightNet provides cross-border remittance services using blockchain infrastructure. So in this, the startup raised $31.2 million in Series A funding in January and has formed partnerships with international banks such as Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand and Swiss crypto bank SEBA. So with an initial focus on meeting the remittance demand from millions of migrant workers in Southeast Asia, LightNet is seeing opportunities from cross-border payments between China and countries in the region. All right, now we're going to scroll down just a little bit. So we have Tribodi believes increased collaboration among small and medium-sized enterprises in China and Southeast Asia will boost demand for transparent, secure, and fast cross-border solutions. Now I'm just going to jump down into more. Again, if you're interested in all of the details and the full articles, they're always available with every video that we make in the description below. So the ASEAN comprises of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So the ASEAN national governments should have open dialogues with their Chinese counterparts to promote compatible and mutually beneficial regulatory frameworks, he said. Now, as we scroll down just a little bit more, we have Lightnet is expected to handle more than 1 billion USD in transactions this year, according to Tradebody. That number is projected to grow 5 to 10-fold in 2021. Now we're officially in 2021, so let the games begin. Now eventually we expect Lightnet to grow to the size of Visa, he said, and he hopes the company can be the primary cross-border transfer intermediary for banks across Asia. And what do we have as Lightnet? Lightnet targets moving 50 billion of international payments annually on the Stellar blockchain network by 2022. And now moving into the next discussion. That's a little bit of the tip of the iceberg for Stellar. Now let's go into the World Economic Forum. Who is the World Economic Forum? They're the one pushing the fourth industrial revolution. Currently what we're in is the fourth industrial revolution. And World Economic Forum, if you're not familiar, get familiar. They're pretty much a massive player on the entire planet as far as the economies go. And they have a huge input and say of what's going to happen as far as influence. Now moving into that, we have the fourth industrial revolution curation, World Economic Forum. This is directly from the World Economic Forum. You have the frontier technologies, the ethics and identity, technology innovation, agile technology governance, technology access and inclusion, agency and trust, disrupting jobs, demanding new skills. What is something we hear over and over? Technology, because we're in the financial technology arena, fintech. And what do we hear from the assets with utility, the assets with a use case, the assets with a team, the assets with a product? It's disrupting technology. Okay, I know I'm briefly hitting on all of these. I'm just trying to make quick points to make it clear. And it's a challenge from time to time to stay a little bit focused. And again, it'll make more sense here. Directly from the World Economic Forum, building blockchain PDF, their file. Now let's go back. This is from 2015 to 2018, and I want to point out the blockchain platforms and the smart contracts. What have we said from the beginning of this channel? Who are the major players? Ethereum, Ripple, and Stellar. And we're going to get into that too. The emergence of new platforms, e.g. Corda, OpenChain, and Stellar. Who is Corda? Again, Ripple and Stellar in that. Not limited to, but I don't want to get distracted because, also we can get into its SIA, we can get into its Quant, we can get into its ZenFin, etc. So let's stay focused. The emergence of new platforms, e.g. Corda, through R3, it's the Corda Settler. So Corda is also connected to Ripple and Stellar. They're also part of it. Who is OpenChain? 2015, OpenChain became Ripple Labs, Inc. And again, at that time, XRP was called Ripple or Ripples by OpenChain. Then they became Ripple Labs Inc. And the confusion became Ripple the company or Ripple the currency. So Ripple the currency became a non-country denominated currency with EX like gold or silver at the beginning of we'll call it ticker symbol, XRP, XLM, became XRP. So you have OpenChain became Ripple Labs Inc. and Ripples became XRP. But again, this is back in 2015 when the change was taking place. So you have Ripple Labs Inc. as an American technology company which develops the Ripple payment protocol and exchange network. Originally named OpenCoin and renamed Ripple Labs in 2015. The company was founded in 2012 and is based in San Francisco, California. So now, having said that, going back, understanding that the fourth industrial revolution is what's taking place now by the World Economic Forum, directly stated from them proudly. And if you follow them, you understand a lot more what is going on in their connections and who typically attends a lot of these World Economic Forum on stage. You have Christine Lagarde, and maybe I should have pulled something up by her But for example, one of her major things that she said many times as she's walked hand to hand to these conferences and these conventions, many times she has shown up with none other than Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. But she has stated, the disruptive technology of the future will not be the Bitcoins and the Ethereums that you are familiar with, that you're used to, but stated also that banks will have to adapt or they will cannibalize themselves. And we've shown, sort of like a series, like if you're watching your favorite program, each video we try to kind of give you a little bit more and more information. But one thing that we love here is that you guys are so intelligent. We don't want to insult that intelligence or offend that intelligence. So what we do is we give you the information that you need because we know that you're smart enough to put it together and understand the discussion at hand. So again, directly from their website and one of their major building blockchains, you had Ripple and Stellar directly listed as the future platforms from where they're moving from the Bitcoin. All right, guys, before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. I hope this kind of shown the confidence that I have when these guys have the influence over global economies, and those are the assets that they have chosen to lead the way. But remember, everything is hard before it is easy. And this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. Grateful for all of you. Much love. We will catch you in the next one.